All right, we have types of internal controls. Again, we will see this in IT because right now we're going to talk about normal financial controls, and then we'll specifically talk about IT relate. We'll talk about all three of these in terms of IT. Now, gosh, it's another three, right? Another triangle. We have, in this case, preventative, detective, and corrective. Okay, so first off, it's like three shields, right? Three walls, three layers of protection. First, we want controls that try to prevent fraud completely. It just prevents them before they even occur. Examples of that: it's a first layer of defense, segregation of duty, job rotation, right? It's forcing people to rotate jobs so that you see, okay, maybe this one person kept having fraud in their one department, but as soon as you rotate them around, the fraud stops. Well, you know that that one person is likely responsible for the fraud. Training, great way to help prevent fraud if you train people properly. Dual access, right? You have many people can see into one thing, so if only one person has custody of the cash, they might take some of it. But if many people can see the cash, then it's a lot less likely that one person will steal it. Authorization and approval, pretty well stated, right? Authorization and approval. I mean, if everything needs to be authorized, then it's going to be a lot harder to commit fraud. And pre-formatted input. So, right, if we, it's basically saying we have standard processes. So in this case, we have standard process, and that standard process might make it very hard to commit fraud. But if you don't have a standard process to do something, well, it might be much more easy to commit fraud. Actually, I just thought of a great example would be employee expense reimbursement. So employees maybe get reimbursed for business-related expenses. If you have a set way of getting reimbursed, then you're a lot less likely to deal with fraud. But if you just have a complete mess of employees throwing receipts at the reimbursement department, you might have some issues with fraud. So if layer of defense one doesn't catch them, well, hopefully detective will catch it. So once the fraud or errors have happened, and this is errors and fraud, right? Because it might not be malicious, but it just is an error. Okay, so these controls will hopefully just detect when they've happened. Now, here are a bunch of different items. Honestly, we are going to go through these much better in IT, so I'm not going to really go through as much here. But these are just essentially many different checks. Lots of different checks. We're checking, comparing against multiple records and multiple departments. So we want to just, and that's the key word, is just check. This is like a firewall. This is a check to see if anything bad is going on. Lastly, corrective. So, okay, we didn't prevent it. It actually happened, and we didn't detect it, but we can now correct the negative effects of the unwanted event. Or maybe we did detect it, but now we still have to correct it. Now, this is layer 3. And here, the upstream resubmissions, we send it back. Repairing damage, that's pretty general. That could go in any sense. Remanufacturing, just redo it the proper way. Isolating and removing viruses, and disciplinary action, all ways that we can correct our possible fraud or errors. And that'll do it. Hey there! Are you ready to not only pass your CPA exams, but truly understand and enjoy the material while studying? I know it seems impossible, right? Especially to enjoy the material? We'll do it together. Tap into the power of CPA.examprep.ai, where we've got personalized quizzes, multiple choice questions, memorization guides, flashcards, simulations, all tailored to your learning. Our adaptive study planning puts you on the fastest path to success and lifts you back up if you fall behind. Avoid wasting your precious time and money attempting an exam with a low chance of passing, because who wants that? We want to get you through this process as quick as possible. Our exam readiness prediction lets you walk in with confidence, knowing that you're prepared for success on exam day. Thankfully, there's no payment method needed to get started, so why don't you come join us? Visit cpa.examprep.ai and let's achieve your exam success together.